Hi, I'm Cheryl. Today we'll be making a card. We're actually going to do um, a little takeoff on this card, but I'll tell you what I used on this card also, so that you could do it either way. But let's get started on what we need. You need some Smokey Slate cardstock, and this is 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored and folded 4 1/4 standard size card base. I have some 1-inch squares. Well, one's a little bigger, but it could be a 1-inch square of Glimmer Paper. Now, on my original, I used the Stampin' Up! Glimmer Paper, and I used the Bermuda Bay for that. But on this card, I'm going to use this Glitter Brights. Let's see, Glitter Brights and Neutrals paper that DCWV people make, and it's different. Can you see the shine on the paper itself? The glitter it's glittered, and then they put some kind of like a vinyl coating over the top of it, and it's not, you see, it's not as sparkly as the Stampin' Up, but it'll add a little bit of shine to our card, and it just happened to have a color that goes with the inks I'm going to be using. So you need just a couple little squares of that, 1 inch by 1 inch. Then you need a piece of Whisper White for the inside of the card, and that's 5 by 3 3/4. And then for the outside of our card, you'll notice I have Happy Mother's Day already printed on here. I used Microsoft Word and made this, and this is, let's see, 1, 2, 3 3 3/4 by 1, 2, 3 4.5. So 3 3/4 by 4.5. And on my original card, let me bring that back in here. On my original card, I spent a crazy amount of time painstakingly putting individual letters down on a stamping block in order to do this, and I'm still not real happy with the way it came out. I mean, it's okay. If I had to rate it like from poor to excellent, I would say fair. Okay, so I printed it out, and I think well, I know I like this much better. So I'm working on learning how to do PDFs. So hopefully I'll have a PDF up on my Facebook page if you want the to print out your Mother's Day. Now, for the stamp set Touches of Texture, I'm going to be using this big ink sketchy flower at the top. This is a nice set, by the way. It's got a dragonfly and a bumblebee that coordinates really nice with the Dragonfly Dreams set that we have out. And it's got other things. It's got like to do the center of the flower, and it's got a lacy thing there, and a splotch and more splotches. It's just got a lot of cool things in it. And then we have Sweet Sayings. I'm going to be using Thanks to You I Grew Up Loved. That will be on the inside of the card. Now over on the side here I have a little pile of sequins. I'm going to use some sequins on this card. I have Memento black ink. Even though I printed the front, I still need to stamp the inside. I have Bermuda Bay, Calypso Coral, and Smokey Slate ink pads. We have our Tombow glue, our snail, and we have Stampin Dimensionals. I'm going to pop up this one on the front, that front panel. So let me bring in my card front, and we'll get started actually making the card. Oh, and I have a sponge dauber too. I'm going to put a little color around the edges of my card. I think I'll do Bermuda Bay. I didn't do that on the original. And I have my little mat here. This is my embossing mat from my Cuttlebug. And just because that flower we're going to use, well, let me put that so it's nice for you. That flower we're going to use is a, oh no it's not, it's a rubber stamp. I don't need the mat. Haha. Okay, I usually don't use the mat anyway because I have my silicone mat down here, and it does have a little give to it, and I can usually get away with not using the mat. So let's start with Bermuda Bay, and we'll ink our flower up, and we just want a couple of these, and I don't want them to be over my Happy Mother's Day. I want that off on its own. Let's see, let's put one up here. Okay, and while we're doing that, let's do the inside of the card too. I'm just going to put one on the inside. Okay, so we can clean our stamp up because we're going to be using another color now. Get all that ink off because I don't want Bermuda Bay in with my Calypso coral. I'm going to close that up and put it aside. We'll need that back in a little bit though, because I want to do a little sponging around the edge. Okay, so I've got my Calypso coral out. We'll ink that up. And again, we don't want a whole lot of color on this card front, really. Let me see. Let's stamp there. I think I can stamp over here just a little bit too. Oh, now I made a little oopsie. That's alright. It'll just blend in, I hope. Oh, and I have to do that on the inside of the card too. So let me, let's see, I think over here. Mostly we're going to have Smokey Slate flowers. We're going to fill all in, even over the printing. We're going to fill in with the Smokey Slate. Yeah, I should probably wipe my table too. Let me wipe that ink off so we don't get that places we don't want it. Okay. So we'll bring these both back in and get the Smokey Slate out. And we'll be using first and second generation stamping. So what that means is we're going to stamp it once and then we're going to stamp it again. So you get a very light impression the second time around. And we're just going to fill in all over this card. Oh, look at that. I can do, look, I'm going to get fancy. Look. Haha. I got it on both of them at the same time, even though I really didn't want down there, but that's okay. And we'll do another one there, and a second impression. Let me do some on here. There. And I've got to stamp off on the side here a little bit too. Just because I want more of these like shadowy ones. There we go. And that's all filled in really nice now on here. And I think we're pretty good. You know what, maybe half of one of the darker ones there. And we can do a shadowy one. There we go. Just so that matches up for that one that I was being silly with. Okay, so we can put that aside. Let's get our Bermuda Bay back out and our sponge dauber. And we can, and we'll just add just a little bit of color to the edges. I could have used Calypso coral, and if that's a color that you like more, then you could use Calypso coral too. I didn't want to use a Smokey Slate because that's what our card base is. And there. There, so we just have a tiny little bit of color around the edges. Let me close that up. Let me get my Memento Tuxedo Black in here. And once again, I need to wipe the table. Have to be fairly neat because that ink just will go everywhere. Okay, so now we'll stamp the inside of our card. Keep that up good. I just inked up my Memento ink pad here, so it's good and juicy. And right there looks good. And so the inside of the card is ready. The outside of the card's almost ready also. Now you're probably wondering, what are we going to do with all these little squares? Well, I'm going to put my card, there's more ink, I'm going to put my card not that way. Always make sure that you have your card opening the right way. I'm going to have about a 1/4 inch border all the way around the top and the sides. I'm going to have it up from the bottom. This is just to make it a little more interesting. But instead of having full strips of my Glimmer Paper, glitter paper, I'm going to just put them like so behind, so the ends are behind my front panel. That saves you an immense amount of precious glitter paper. Okay, so I'm going to use my snail for that. Have I used my Tombow yet? I don't think I have. So I want this in, oh, what is that, about maybe about 3/4 of an inch from the edge. Okay, and I'm putting, I have my larger piece here. 1 inch would have been fine too, if you actually have the 1 inch squares. And now I'm going to line this up. If you have a surface with a grid on it, you could use that, or like I'm going to use a ruler. I just want to make sure that it's lined up with this one, so it looks like a continuous strip. Okay, and then we're going to put another one going this way. And these aren't evenly spaced. Where did my card get to so I can show you? Oh, there it is. You see I have them like offset. So it's not exactly in the middle of the paper here, and it's definitely not in the middle of the paper over here. And I think that just makes it more interesting. It's visually pleasing to me. And since this is my card, my video, what visually pleases me is what I do. So, I'm going to put our other little piece here. On my original, I put everything down with, I have some repositionable tape, and I used that because I was playing around with it. Look, I can just peel everything off. Look. As a matter of fact, I tried it with just plain Bermuda Bay paper. And let me just put that right over the glitter. You can see that is just not, that's not enough for Mom. She's got to have some glitter. So I do that sometimes on my sample cards. Let's see, we want dimensionals for this. We're going to pop this up. You know, let me put the inside one in first then. We'll put our inside in first because we don't want to, once our thing is, our popped up is on, we don't want to be squishing it down. So there we go, that's on the inside. Now we're ready to go. Oh, I didn't get these out. Here we go. And let's see, one in each corner here. And then maybe two more kind of there, and that'll take care of the sides and the middle of the card. If you're sending this through the mail, you know what's fun to use? So that if you have a popped up panel, use some fun foam. Cut your fun foam just a little bit smaller than this and just glue the whole thing down. And then it's a whole solid foam piece behind your popped up panel. Okay, so there we go. Got that popped up. And then, you know, then I thought, we've got our nice glitter paper on the edges here. Let's put a little glitter on the inside here, and I tried a bunch of different things. Rhinestones, and I don't know. I even tried some little nail art stars. They're teeny tiny little stars. I didn't like them. So I'm just going to put, I have some a little pile of iridescent sequins here. I'm just going to use those. That's what we're using the Tombow glue for. Okay, so I'm just going to put a couple little dots of Tombow. And let's put sequins on those before I forget. I can't get those with my fingers. Where's my little tweezers? Let me get them with my tweezers. There we go. My tweezers seem to have a little something sticky on them. Probably Tombow glue. Okay, so there's those three. Let's see. Probably should have one up here. Maybe one over here. And one down here. I think that's probably good. We don't want to go overboard with the sequins. So that just adds just a little bit of something in there. Oh, you know what I could have used? I could have used a little bit of like a clear iridescent glitter glue. That might have been alright too. That might have been good. But we have sequins and we have them stuck down. So there's our card. So there's the outside. And I'm so proud of myself. I did the inside too. And I hope you enjoyed this video. So if you liked the video, then be sure to hit the like button down below. If you'd like to see more of my videos, hit the subscribe button. And you can shop with me for any of the Stampin' Up! Products I've used through my website or my Facebook page. And as always, I'll have all of my materials listed down below. And I lost my other card again. I was going to put that back out here too with this one. Oh, there it is. I found it. So either way, I think they came out really nice. So y'all take care, stay safe, and happy stamping.